There is a skill gap in FC24. Wait, hang on, wait, let me explain. Just wait a There is indeed a skill gap in this game, and there has been a skill gap in every previous version of the game as well. That's why you have people who legitimately cannot get out of Division 9 while others are winning most of their games in the Elite Division. That's why you can have someone go 20-0 in Foot Champs, but someone else can go 5-15. So yes, there is a skill gap, but that is not the right question you should be asking, but instead, you should be asking, is the skill gap itself any good? And the answer to that is no, obviously not. When I ask, is the skill gap any good? What I'm asking is what separates a good player from a bad player? What makes a good player good in the first place? Or what is in the skill gap itself? We're just getting philosophical up in here. Now, separating the really good and the really bad players is typically pretty easy, and the skill gap is apparent. Putting someone in Division 10 up against someone in the Elite Division will end with the Elite player winning every single game, as they should. The Elite Division player will be able to time their passes and shots better, they can sprint in a more controlled manner without constantly losing the ball, they have better vision, better tackling, better tactics. There is a decent sized difference between these two users, and deservedly so. These are the things that should be separating players, but unfortunately, this is where all of the good part of the skill gap comes to an end. Once you get into Division 6 or so, the skill gap becomes a lot smaller and a lot worse. The difference between players of similar skill levels is pretty small, which is natural, of course, but that small difference is very noticeable in the upper divisions to the point where it's a problem, because in order to win against the sweatiest of opponents in the sweatiest of games, you have to abuse mechanics, which I guess people think is a skill, I don't know. 71 depth before the patch was an issue, people still go down the wing and do cutbacks, people do the step over boost or abuse the finesse shot, people will park the bus and play in the most mind-numbing, soul-crushing way known to man, where it makes you ask, how the hell are you having fun? And it makes you have a nervous breakdown because you are convinced no one would actually play this way on purpose, so then you start to wonder if they're sending you a message that they're actually trapped, being held hostage by an intruder, and they have to win
in order to have their family set free.
And then they send you a message calling you a rat once they win. We've talked about mechanics before and how some of them, while being too overpowered, were not really that bad, and one of those examples is the low driven shot. This mechanic was overpowered for a reason, as it would go in consistently, and you were sometimes rewarded with a goal even if it was not deserved. Nutmegs in this game were absolutely outrageous. But a lot of the time, players had to create an open chance in order to use it, which should be the biggest component of the skill gap. Chance creation, but unfortunately this part of the skill gap, again, the biggest part, is not very good at all. The biggest part of chance creation is the attacking AI, but it's just... What the f***? What the f***? Do I need to break out the attacking AI I showed in my FIFA 17 video? Let's break out the attacking AI I showed in my FIFA 17 video. Look at my left center mid here. This player is Johannes Geis. You want to see his card from FIFA 17? Clearly not good at it's just awful, but that's not it either. He has 72 attack positioning, so pretty low. He has low medium work rates, so low attacking work rates. And he also was on stay back while attacking for player instructions. With all of those things in mind, take a look at what happens. The right back of the other team moves in to help defend, and Johannes Geis, without me telling him to, sprints into the open space. Now, because he has the speed of a beached whale at 54 pace, he unfortunately did not get open, but anyone in Ultimate Team would obviously not be using that card, let's be real with ourselves. And the player would at least have 75 or 80 pace. In that situation, the player would be open. Meanwhile, in FC24, I have to tell a player to run forward into 50 yards of open space. Because that's a good skill gap. However, even if chance creation was actually good, the skill gap would still be severely limited. With the gameplay being incredibly inconsistent, the skill gap gets reduced in a major way. You aren't able to dribble or take touches how you want because players feel like they're stuck in mud. Passing and shooting animations take longer because there's more of an emphasis while they do make a pass or shot. And the general play is just awful. I could list about like 10 other things that are wrong with inconsistent gameplay, but we'll save that for another video. It's not like the skill gap is perfect and good gameplay though. The randomness runs rampant. We've made a whole freaking video about how this game is unfair because of all the randomness and artificial difficulty. So if you want more information about that, take a look at the video, because my therapist says I should not rant about that ever again, just for like the betterment of my health. Then you have the overall speed of the game, which is just, unfortunately, at least in my opinion, way too slow. I'm not saying I want every player to be like Sonic or to make your reaction time the biggest factor in the game, but come on, man. Being able to quickly build up your play while your opponent sits there with their thumbs stuck up their ass adds a level of skill to the game. Saying that, I also understand that speed should not be the only factor in the game, because someone who can read the game with a slow buildup and pass their way through a defense deserves to be rewarded. Again, creating chances should be the biggest part of the skill gap, meaning we should be able to attack how we want in a variety of different ways, and when the game is faster, players will be able to choose to go fast or slow. Again, deciding how they want to attack. On the other hand, if the game is slow, that is your only option, to go slow, because unfortunately, you cannot just make the game go faster. And then there's this stuff Jesus Christ. We are extremely limited in our build-up play and chance creation. Again, one of the biggest components of the skill gap. There's randomness lurking around every corner to take away well-deserved moves or to gift undeserved goals. The speed of the game is too slow, inconsistent gameplay makes the skill gap worse than it already is, and one of the best ways to be quote-unquote good at the game is to abuse mechanics like the finesse shot or parking the bus. So yes, there is, again, a skill gap in the game, but my God, is it awful. So that is going to do it for this video, guys. I do appreciate you watching and all the support recently. If you are new, be sure to like and subscribe if you have not already. But like I said, that is going to do it, and we'll see you later. Peace.